the world of distribution is very complex for hotels. And you've got hotels trying to distribute online on their own websites, which, the direct booking strategy, like we call it. And then you have a myriad of distribution channels, right? So you got the online travel agencies, you got tour operators, you got destination management companies, you got retail agents, you got corporate travel. There's so many different, channels that hotels basically have to work with to be able to fill the rooms, right? Now, the world of B2B distribution, Hannah, is broken, right? Because, if I'm a hotel chain sitting in the US or sitting in Europe with my headquarters, right? And I'm looking after 5,000 hotels, 8,000 hotels, even a few hundred hotels, having to deal with the requirements of every hotel in their destination around the world isn't an easy task, right? So what they're really good at is being able to do the big global relationships and the agreements. But if I'm a hotel in Bali, or if I'm a hotel in Cape Town, if I'm a hotel in Dubai, right? I need my local partners to be connected. I need my local partners to have access to my rates and inventory, right? And that basically is a very big divide in the industry, because you don't have the resources or the time to sit there and forge hundreds and hundreds of relationships. And what iOL's does is basically act as a platform in the middle, right? Helping buyers and the hotels work and connect directly through the entire solution. So we make it free for hotels, which is great for hotels, right? And traditionally, if you look at the buyers who are connecting to the hotels, they end up always going through a middleman, right? And there's many different companies out there, wholesalers, resellers, bed banks. What we do is we cut that out and we help them connect directly through the platform. So in a way, they're saving easily between 5 to 7%, sometimes even more, based on the markup that company would be putting before making that product available, right? So our entire platform is about being seamless, right? Allowing access to the product as if you had a relationship directly with the hotel. So you're getting the product at net, if you know what I mean. And most importantly for us is about giving visibility to the hotel for every booking that comes through the platform. So the hotel knows, even though we are the channel and we are the merchant and we are responsible for every booking, right? We own every transaction. We still provide the visibility of where every booking comes from, right? So it's about transparency, it's about compliance, it's about distribution at scale, right? That's what iOL's is about. Bed banks, wholesalers, right? Any of these B2B marketplaces, they are in the business of, getting a product at a cost and then applying a markup, right? Like any business you can imagine. And the markups can range, right? And that comes at a cost. Number two, the supplier would never know who the customer is, because the B2B marketplace are controlling that. They are their customer and they become the customer of the hotel, right? So for the examples that I gave earlier, what iOL's does differently is, right, we don't apply a markup, right? We work on a transaction fee model. So as a technology company, it's all about, based on success. So you're getting rates all the time at cost, right? And that's super unique, right? At the end of the day, it's only when a booking goes through, right, there is a booking fee that gets applied, which is significantly lower cost compared to what you would pay, in terms of a margin. And C, like I said earlier, every booking, is got your IATA number or your profile to the hotel, so they know where that business is coming from, right? So for us, it's a very different value proposition. We call it like a hybrid platform where we can be the distribution platform and we can also help hotels and partners get connected directly if they wish, right? And that's what makes us, again, very, very unique in this business. And this is really the precursor of one of the reasons why we exist. It's, when a hotel is providing rates and there are different rate plans and it has different distribution requirements, right? So if I have a B2B rate or an opaque rate or a package rate, it has to be packaged with a flight or another component, right? And a lot of time that gets abused, right? Because it's difficult to go out there and check and find out how my rate is actually getting distributed, right? With iOL's, we take that responsibility. We police on our side, right? So if depending on our partner, depending on what your distribution channels are, right, we provide different credentials which behind the scenes ensure that the right rates are being passed, right? Now, of course, there can be a bad actor in the marketplace and try, right? But we are extremely strict with our violation policy. We're not playing whack-a-mole here, right? So one offense and you're out. And look, we work with the large hotel chains like Marriott, like Hilton, with Hyatt. We have about over 350 chains in the world. So for us, our relationship with our hotels is a lot more important than trying to make a quick buck somewhere else, right? That makes it again very, very unique, and we ensure that the rate parity are maintained and the violations are absolutely bare minimum. I think, look, I don't necessarily agree with putting all your eggs in one basket. Look, I mean, it's, as I said, it's a very complex business. Distribution is an extremely challenging landscape. I believe, like any business, you got to have a few key partners. A lot of the hotel chains are looking at doing that. I think we as iOL's are very, very strategically positioned to help hotels with something very unique. While keeping the existing relationships that they still wish. So we're not about exclusivity, right? We're about helping them drive that visibility and transparency, while keeping the relationships that they have. So I feel, and that's a very important trend where, we're talking to hotel chains who had like 400 partners, 200 partners around the world, right? And connectivity is an expensive process, right? It's not an easy process. So by consolidating those relationships, but working with true partners, right, who can drive that distribution globally and help them provide that transparency and let them have the control, right? Because hotels have a challenge where they feel like they've lost control, right? And that's the kind of partners you need, is who's working alongside you to deliver your objectives, right? Rather than working against you just to make a quick buck, by doing it out there, right? There is, every year, I think the space of technology is just never ending, right? And look, I will look at trends in two ways. One is what technology is bringing. So look, AI, that's a big buzzword that's been going around for over a year now with ChatGPT that came along, generative AI that a lot of the OTAs, I'm talking specifically in the travel industry, right? That's been adopted. It's still early days, long way to go, but some very interesting developments, right? And we do AI in our business to be able to optimize our internal processes and be able to do a lot of solutions that we deliver to our customers. But from a customer facing, there's so many different use cases that can be deployed as well, right? But that's the technology kind of, and there's a lot of different things happening in that space. But when you look at the customer base as well, right, and the whole 18 to 35, the audience, the demographic that you have, and that's a very different demographic. Hannah, you're a very different demographic to us, right? For example, and the mindset and being able to deliver a solution, right, from a hotel standpoint or from a travel industry standpoint, to the consumer coming in today, it's a very different, right, to the boomers and to the millennials as well. And I think it's interesting to see how a lot of the startups, right, are trying to make that difference. It's hard, right? It's never easy coming up with different solutions. I think for us, given that we've been in the industry so long, right, we believe, every few years with the products that we are launching, we're trying to address a very big global problem, right? It takes years. Right, and that's the sad thing about startups is 99% of the startups unfortunately don't make it, and I think the industry as a whole has to provide that support, right, to be able to accept these ideas and innovations out there. And I think we see a lot of that happening, and WTM is again a fantastic arena where we see a lot of these players trying to exhibit their product and solutions there as well.